Question: do you feel loved by your mother? I know I didn't. Or my father. Hi, I'm Reiki Rita Roberts, a holistic emotional health coach. So I just wanted to take a few minutes on this week's episode of Functional Family Fridays to talk about the relationship with your mom. Okay? Now, no disrespect to fathers, because they serve purpose, a very strong purpose in a child's upbringing. But you'll often hear the mother be referred to as the glue of the family, the nurturer. So if mother, is not in her, playing her best game or a loving, compassionate individual, this can truly affect the emotional well-being of her child, and it makes a difference as to whether you grow up feeling loved, feeling good about yourself, feeling a strong purpose in your life. So mother plays a huge role. And so I've got a couple of points here that I want to talk to you about. 10 possible negative outcomes of growing up with an emotionally absent or detached mother. Be very harmful to your emotional well-being. There's probably a lot more, but I'm going to talk about the 10 key. So number 1, difficult or failed adult relationships. You end up having a lot of power struggles, estrangement, perhaps separation, divorce is one of the causes because of the failed adult relationships, because you didn't learn that from mother, okay? The love, compassion, the compromise, and all the key things you would learn from that relationship with your mom, okay? Fear of attachment or being in love. Do you have commitment issues? Because a lot of times people will distance themselves because they believe that love means pain. So they have commitment issues because they don't want to allow themselves to go that deep because of fear that the relationship will end, that person will leave them or, vanish, or the relationship will end. I've said that. Number 3, have you developed trust issues? I know that was a big one for me. Avoiding emotional pain, disappointment, or rejection. So a lot of times, remember, when a mother is raising her child, children learn to trust by every time she attends to them when they're crying. She attends to them when they're hungry. She attends to them when they need a hug. So when there's a consistency of that love from mother, the child learns to trust that they know they don't need to cry or scream or behave badly because mother will come to their rescue. However, if mother's love or whether she fed them was sporadic, that there was no consistency, and the child never knew if they were going to be fed or loved or taken care of, then they start to develop mistrust. So consistency from mother is key to developing trust, right? So when you have mistrust issues, you avoid emotional pain, disappointment, and rejection because you believe that person is not coming back for you, is not going to support you, is not going to care for you, it's not going to give you what you need. So it causes a lot of mistrust. Point 4, you could develop mental health disorders, borderline personality disorder, okay, narcissism, anger, depression, self-sabotage, suicidal attempts or thoughts. So it does a number on our mental health when we don't feel loved or respected by mother, right? A lot of people suffering with that. We also then develop point 5, an ego-based behavior. We become more self-focused, more greedy, have a lack of consideration for others, because the inner child is all about nurturing those childish needs that were never taken care of by mother. So we become more ego-based, focusing on ourselves mostly. That's why. Because you're trying to give back the attention, the love, the needs that mother never gave to you. So we tend to focus a lot on what I need. What do I need? And a lot of times that's even done unconsciously. All right. Point 6, we have low self-worth, low self-esteem, and lack of self-respect, because we believe that if the one person in the world that can't love us the most, which is mom, doesn't love us, then what does that say about who I am? So we start to believe that we're not of value, we don't deserve love, and we don't think very good about ourselves. And that negatively impacts our self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth. Okay. Number 6, we struggle with addictions or substance abuse. So what happens is addictions is a form of denial. We're in denial that we don't deserve to be loved. Or it's a denial's I often say a happy hiding place for people, is the happy place for people. Denial is about just not dealing with the truth, right? That it's so painful to believe that, again, the one person in the world that should love us the most, our insecurities, our imperfections, is mother. And if she can't love us, then what's the point? So we tend to drown ourselves in other ways so we don't have to see that truth. So the pain is so unbearable that often people that don't feel loved by mother will turn to addictions. Comfort food, could be drinking, drugs, whatever the addiction is, shopping, whatever is going to give you a quick high, right, so that you can numb the pain. A lot of times, self-sabotage. People turn to cutting themselves or hurting themselves. And when the pain becomes way too strong, perhaps you've even thought about suicide. But please don't, okay? Before I go further, I want you to know that mother is incapable of loving herself. This is why she can't love you the way you need to be loved. Doesn't mean that you're of no value. Just means that we're not going to put our life on the line because one person is incapable of loving us, okay? That doesn't seem reasonable, okay? But our inner child is telling us otherwise. Our inner child is saying, if mom doesn't love me, there's no point of living. There is a lot of points to living. So please hear me through and let's start fixing that, because that's one woman's opinion and that's one woman's loss, because you are of value. If not, God wouldn't have put you on this planet. So you need to be here on purpose, with purpose, okay? So let's continue. Point number 7, I've lost track of the numbers, is a loss of hope, a loss of faith. There's no joy in your life. There's no happiness in your life. So going back to my last point, when we feel that the people in our family, particularly mother, don't love us, we lose a lot of hope. But we put far too much emphasis on what our family believes. And you got to realize, it was a roll of the dice that you happen to get that family. Now, Spiritually, I would say that we choose our families to actually help us learn things, and you would say, Rita, who the hell would choose my family? And I get it. But believe it or not, the experiences you have growing up make you be the person that you're meant to today. If I didn't have the family I did, I wouldn't be standing here making this video trying to help other people heal. Okay? So believe it or not, someday you will see that, believe it or not, that mother was the one mother that you needed. But it doesn't mean that you need to be her. Okay? Number 9, you become socially challenged. You may struggle managing your own emotions or how to interact with people because, again, mother is nurturer. She teaches us emotions, how to manage our emotions. So just think, if mother's not good at it, how are you going to learn to be good at it? Because she's your first teacher. But what I want to say to you is, she's not your only teacher. Thanks to the internet, thanks to other people that come into our life as examples, then she's not the only teacher. I used my aunt, who to me became my surrogate mother. My mother, I realized, was incapable of loving herself. She wasn't happy. She lived in a marriage. I don't think she was happy. I know she wasn't. But back then, they persevered and they put up with things. So she just became more unhappy. But I was old enough to reason and realize that just because she can't teach me how to manage emotions or show me love doesn't mean other people can't. So find another teacher, another surrogate, another example, okay? If you can't find one in real life, go online. There's all kinds of things and people and examples of unconditional love, okay? And finally, number 10 is, growing up with an emotionally absent mother makes us unable to cope and manage with stress because we're using so much energy, feeling sad and unhappy, and we don't know how to manage any other negativity or stress coming our way. So again, those are 10 examples of some of the negative damage that could happen to us when mother isn't playing her best game. This is why I do a lot of emphasis on parents coming into that role the best possible version of themselves. Because once you've said the words and did the damage, all the stories in the world are not going to remove that experience from one's mind. And if you keep on doing negative, damaging thing to your children, after a while, it's irreversible. So if you are a parent now and want to be a better parent, right, for your children, be a better parent than your parents were, guess what? You're going to hear me say this. You got to do the work. You got to put some skin in the game. You got to learn how to get rid of all the old programming from your mother, toss it aside, take what you can use, but then you got to learn new behavior, okay? And that's not going to happen by itself. So you got to learn how to do this. So I hope you found this video useful, trying to wrap your head around why, you have all these negative experiences and challenges. It's because a lot of it was learned as a child because of the neglect and your emotionally absent mother, okay? Now, that doesn't mean we have to sit here and blame her for the rest of our life. I was just speaking to a client and someone in the group just recently, and I asked her, do you want to forgive your mother? The first word that came out of her mouth was no. So, again, I know you're in pain. I know that it's hurting. And I know you're angry to defend yourself. But understand this, at some point in the healing process, you have to want to forgive your mother, your father, whoever else hurt you. Because if you're holding on to anger, guess what? You're only hurting yourself. And you've heard this a million times, but I'm saying it because it's true. Because at the end of the day, she doesn't give a shit. She's moving on with her life. She could be even passed on. But you holding on to anger is such toxic, negative energy that love can't grow in anger, okay? That is not the source that it needs to grow. Love needs positivity. It needs hope. It needs trust. It needs faith. It needs respect. It needs all these things to grow. But if you want to hold on to anger, I can tell you right now, you're wasting your time, okay? You're only gonna, your body, your cells are gonna respond to the frequency of anger that you keep spewing out, whether it's in your mind, whether it's in your actions, your words to her. And at the end of the day, they don't care. So I remember when I was angry with my family, at the end of the day, they didn't give a shit because they put me out of their mind and they went on with their day. And the only one that stayed angry was me. The only one that wasn't improving or getting healthy was me. So holding on to anger is not going to help, okay? So if you want some help, here I am. You know what? Jump on a call with me. I want to hear your story and offer you some solutions, some recommendations, so we could start healing again, okay? If you want to hold on to anger, then I can't help you. No one can help you, okay? But if you want to do something about it, download the link that I'm going to put here. Book a call with me if you haven't done it already, okay? So let's get started. So again, I hope you found this useful, trying to understand, become aware of why you're unhappy, you're addicted, you're hurting yourself, whatever the case is. So from my heart to yours, stay strong, stay hopeful, and if you need my help, you know where to find me. Till next time, stay well and stay hopeful. God bless.